Hey gang, welcome to subscribers. I'm Brian from Apex Detail. With all these new spray SiO2 coatings and sealants coming out here lately, they're all the rage. I have gotten a ton of requests to put some of these up against each other on the same panel. And since we haven't done anything really for the Sealant Madness series in quite some time, I'm going to bring that back to life a little bit. And we're going to start off with Premier. That is a topper for coatings. I use IGL. That's no secret. I have tested many, and you guys know I only use the best for my customers. So I would have put up something that I am confident in on the panel, and we'll put it up against some of these new popular coatings. So we'll do the Meguiar's ceramic spray wax and also Adam's 9H spray coating. We'll put those three on the same panel so we can then compare. I'm going to let you know what I'm doing and let you know what I'm seeing. I'm going to keep my opinions to myself because I want you guys to, down in the comments section, let me know what you have noticed and let me know who the winner of the three is and should go up against in the next round. I have a ton of these toppers, these spray coatings, guys, so we can continue this this matchup for quite some time. So let me know down in the comment section what you notice and who should move on to the next round. Let's get this started. Adam's 9H ceramic coating is $69.99 for 16 ounces. IGL Premier for 16 ounces, $66.99, and Meguiar's at $14.99 for about the same size. Before we get started, I do want to do a little bit of correction on this test panel. It's absolutely trashed. I at least want to clean it up a little bit. I'm not going to go crazy and make it perfect, but I want it to shine a little bit for this test. I really do recommend some type of polish or correction unless your paint is absolutely perfect, and that is rare to none. After a correction, or if your paint's fine after a wash in a clay, grab your IP solution or body solvent. This is at 25%. I like to follow up with something like Polish Angel Escalate Lotion. That is a cleaner slash polish, very fine abrasives. You team it up with the right pad and it does an excellent job cleaning up and making the surface even flatter. And finally, I'm going to follow up with a coating prep. This is IGL Pre-Coat. I recommend all these steps if you want to get the most out of whatever LSP you're going to add to your panel. Last step protection, if you want to get the most out of it, preparation is needed. Now, although not perfect, surprisingly we have this trash panel looking half decent. We have it set up for a test. It is now 10 a.m., so we're going to apply these, and I'm going to come back at the end of the day giving it proper time to cure. We'll start with the Meguiar's, then we'll put the IGL Premier, then we will apply the Adam's 9H. Alright, we're going to use proper on-the-label application. We're going to follow the channels, how they apply it, that are trying to sell this stuff, and that's going to be exactly like this. Now, with the price point of Meguiar's being that far lower than the other two, if it can even halfway keep up with the other two, it may be something to look into. Even though I'm not a fan, hey, I have to admit that. Next up, IGL Premier, and they all have a different application procedure. This one here, I'm going to spray right into an application pad, and to tell you the truth, this is the way I'm going to apply most of these products, even though some may not state that on the label. I know I can get the most out of them doing a crosshatch pattern, making sure the coverage is entirely complete and even. And I do want to position the camera so you guys get an idea of what these look like up close when they're being applied in the first few seconds as they're starting to cure, really. Out of the three, going thickest to thinnest, the thickest would be Meguiar's. Then will be the 9H ceramic coating by Adams. And the thinnest to apply and the easiest, the most user-friendly, will be IGL. Okay, finally we come to Adam's 9H ceramic coating. And again, I'm going to apply just like the channels that are marketing this to sell it do, spraying into a microfiber rag and wiping off with a new clean one to level off and buff to perfection. And you'll notice the first few seconds as it's going on kind of reminds me of some light baby oil, and in a few seconds you'll see it start to rainbow, mimicking a true 9H ceramic coating. I'll let it set up there for a minute or two and then buff off. Okay, all three sections are applied as intended. They look fantastic, no doubt about that. We're going to let these cure. I'm going to get back to work, and we're going to come back at the end of the day, take a look at these, check out their protection, beat them up a little bit. So here we are. This is 5 o'clock. It is now about 7 hours later. They've had plenty of time to cure. I removed the masking tape so you can take a look at each separate section. And this is way past cure time that it's called for. So here we go. We're going to beat them up. And by the way, it has to be stated, there's no substitution for real-world degradation, taking it out into the weather, what Mother Nature could throw at it. But first, let's just take a look at the beating properties of each section. Adam's 9H. Premier. Meguiars. Okay, we're going to saturate the areas. Now time to take a look at its water-repelling properties. Before we start torturing them, I did want to take it out into the sunlight so at least you get a nice view of the panel that was coated in the direct sunlight. Okay, time to beat them up a little bit. Let's break out the Purple Power Vehicle and Boat. Has a higher pH than normal shampoos do, and we're going to use the big red sponge to help work this shampoo in a little bit. I'm going to pause for a second or two, bring you guys into each section to see how each product is fighting and putting up some chemical resistance. Well, the Purple Power Vehicle and Boat was no match for the coatings. They still obviously exist. We're going to step up aggression with each level. Next up, the new Pro MultiX. This is cut 3-to-1. And each time I introduce a new chemical to this, I'm going to give you the best camera angle I can so you can see its chemical resistance. Diluted 3-to-1 is probably the strongest. I have a mix of the MultiX. On the label, I think you'll see the highest is 4-to-1 or 5-to-1. So this is really quite concentrated here. So far, this closely mimics the foam you're going to get when you enter an automated car wash tunnel. That pre-mist or pre-foam is going to be a very high pH, somewhere around a 12. Next up, an IP solution at 25% strength. Let's douse the Adam's 9H section. Keep in mind, I have it diluted at about 25%, but the IP solution itself is diluted, so we're probably looking in reality at about 15%. There's the IGL Premier section, and then finally we will move on to the Megs. Okay, I gave you a good look at how each section gave its chemical resistance. Let's rinse this away as well. So we can bring in the big daddy. This is Citral 266. For me, this is a good chemical to use to get rid of old waxes, some sealants. We're going to douse each area and see how each area fights it off. I'm going to use a microfiber to work this chemical into the panel, each section, and really try to disturb each coating. As I do that, give me a second. I'll grab the camera and give you guys an angle to see how each section is fighting off the chemical. Citral 266 has some strength and does a lot of work. The one drawback it has is a lot of residue to remove afterwards. So let's rinse that free and see if each section has any water repelling properties left whatsoever. Okay guys, that's going to do it for this video. I hope you're paying attention. The differences are slight, but they are there to pick out. And I want you to let me know what you've noticed down in the comments section and which one should move on to the next round, which will be DPC armor, and another one that will be a surprise. If you have any questions, don't hesitate. Brian from Apex Detail. Catch you in the next video.